What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I'm IAnthonyD, and we have some huge juicy news for the Texas Chain Saw Massacre. Literally the future of TCM has been outlined. So if you care about this game and you want to know what's going on, you got to watch this video to the end, because there's some really big and interesting things that I was not expecting the devs to talk about, and we got to break it down and talk about all of it. If you don't know, yesterday Gun's official Twitch went live with a community Q&A. We had Matt and Wes from Gun taking questions from the community. So much more got talked about here than I was expecting, and I took some of the more juicier ones for us to break down. So the first one we have here is the future plan for TCM overall. What do they have planned for us?
Long-term plans for the game, i.e. additional family members and victims down the line.
Yeah, there are. We have somewhere in the neighborhood of 6 to 9 months worth of content we're planning. That's, you know, maps and new characters and some new kills. There's all kinds of goodies that we've got planned for you guys. Obviously, if there's still a player base and you guys are still buying things, we're going to keep building them. I mean, that's how this works.
So there you have it. 6 to 9 months of content is already planned and in the works for the game. That doesn't mean that once you hit 9 months, the game is over. Obviously, as people continue to grow and support the game, additional content will be put into the work, which leads us to our next one, which is the level cap. Currently, the level cap is 99, but are they going to extend and go further than that?
You're going to add levels further than 99 and add in-game currencies, metagame, and a prestige system.
Are we raising the level from 99? Yes, that is happening. I can't give you a date when it's happening, but yeah, it's been an ongoing discussion here. Nearly every other day it comes up in design meetings where we're discussing how we want to do that. The second part of that was about whether it be currencies for earning. It's also been an ongoing discussion here. It's a thing that we think is a smart move. It gives people something to grind towards. And it gives them obviously also an option to, if you can't afford or you don't want to buy the content that we're putting out, is there an alternate way that you could get to it? Yes, and I think that's fair, and we want to work towards that.
They also touch in this clip an in-game store. This is absolutely huge. Some form of in-game currency where we can purchase future characters, kills, cosmetics, all that stuff. I think is absolutely huge and solves a lot of these concerns that we had, especially with new characters costing $10. However, that leads us to our next big one here, and this is one that I do have some concerns with. Towards the end of this month, the game will no longer require Leatherface in each match.
Will there be a possible way to make Leatherface not mandatory? And do you guys have any ideas, plans, or incentives to get more people to play Leatherface? I still run into lobbies with people refusing to play him.
Okay, so the first part of that question was, will there be a way to make Leatherface not mandatory?
Yeah.
Yes, and that's coming by the end of the month. So you will not have to play, you will no longer need Leatherface to start a match.
Now, my concerns about this is, one, I overall don't like this change. And this is just me personally, in my opinion. Now, when it comes to the franchise, Leatherface is one of the most consistent things to it. Everything changes, locations, characters, last names, the way they act. However, one thing has stayed the same, and that is Leatherface. So I always liked the idea of him being in every match and being such a core part of the gameplay. Them removing him hurts that side of things, but also worries me for the balance of the game and how the overall game is going to play. Honestly, the way that they're talking here is kind of seems like we're going to give you what you want so that you can see why it won't work, and then you still have that choice to play Leatherface. So ideally, the first week, maybe people don't play Leatherface. They start to realize, okay, we need a Leatherface, and then maybe people start selecting him more. Maybe that's the answer to getting people to play Leatherface. I don't entirely like it. I don't entirely like the situation of people not wanting to play Leatherface, but that's just coming from my viewpoint, because I enjoy Leatherface. Early on in the game's release, I didn't. When he was getting bullied and there was no stun immunity, all that stuff, it was extremely frustrating to play him. But over time, through patches, I think he's in a spot where I do enjoy playing him, and I don't get why people don't. But obviously people have their reasons, so maybe this is a good thing. It's either going to go really good or really bad, in my opinion. And either it opens up a new world of metas that we've never seen before, to, you know, Hitchhiker and Sissy chasing you while Hook is locking things down upstairs. There's a lot of questions to it. Is anyone going to start in the basement now? What's going to happen with Leatherface barricades? Or is Johnny able to break it? Or are they just going to stay there and there's a safe haven for victims? A lot of questions, and we'll have to see how that rolls out. So I'm holding off judgment I don't want to jump in and just be super negative right away. We'll see how things play out. But the next news I'm over the moon about, we are officially getting a single player mode.
I know we have pedals, but could we possibly see a single player mode added to the game like Virtual Cabin from F13?
Yes. It's in the works. It's been in the works for a while. It's not done yet. I don't know when it's going to be done, but as soon as we do know, we'll let you know. I've had a lot of questions about that because I know a lot of people enjoyed the Virtual Cabin. We enjoyed making it. We enjoyed all the deep cuts and the lore because we know there's horror nerds like us out there that want that kind of thing. And we're working with the same team that built the Virtual Cabin to build what we are internally dubbing museum mode. So you can take that and probably start to get a picture of what that might be.
This one I actually cannot believe. We're getting our own version of a Virtual Cabin in Texas Chain Saw Massacre, which I think is insane. It's called museum mode, as Wes said, and there's going to be some lore, and I'm sure there's going to be puzzles and stuff for us to solve. That's going to be really cool to do as a community. And honestly, this is just one more step towards like a single player challenges or like a legitimate single player mode. But to all my family mains out there, you're finally getting some love with family cosmetics.
You guys plan on adding more family cosmetics?
Yeah, we are. And I think you're going to see some potentially in the next, like, I don't know, 60 days, give or take. I'd like to say end of year. It may spill into the first, but it's right in that window.
I can't wait to see. Hopefully we get Cook in a chef's hat. Hopefully we get Johnny in a biker jacket. Hopefully we get Sissy in a bloody wedding dress. All these crazy community ideas. I hope it happens. But next up is the DLC. We're talking about the new map, the new victim, and the new family member are coming when?
Yeah, so the newest family and victim member and map. Yeah, we're going to be talking about those more over the course of the next 2 weeks. And I get to share some good news for once, and you'll be seeing them and playing as them by the end of the month.
Ooh, that's big time.
Let's go. Let's go.
Big time.
So there you have it. The new DLC is coming towards the end of this month, as well as that huge patch we have as well. The good things are on the rise for TCM. Another interesting thing that they kind of dropped here was Leatherface's mallet. His legendary mallet. We were wondering when we'd see it in the game, and we get a little bit of a tease.
We did have some early discussions, and I think there may even be some brief mocap of Leatherface using a mallet. The difficult part was we didn't like that, like Leatherface exchanging weapons and things. It would be odd. Like, what would he do with a chainsaw? Like, he's not going to stick it on his back. Like he's, you know, Ash from Evil Dead or something. Like it didn't match. If he set it down and then pulled out a mallet, it's like, then how do you get the chainsaw back? You have to walk back over and pick it up. And players would, in some instances, would like, oh, where'd I lay the chainsaw? Or, you know, something weird happens where there's a high ping and the chainsaw disappears into the earth. You've seen weird stuff happen in games, so that felt like we were just asking for some troubles like that to happen. Now, does that mean you're never going to see that? You might see something in the future that is affiliated with that weapon, but more on that in the future.
Which leads us to one of the most asked questions of all time, and that is future DLC maps, characters, family members from movies inside the franchise.
Does Gunn want the other films in the franchise, or in some capacity, do they want that in this game? Short answer, yeah. But it's not like I can walk into Walmart and say, yes, I'll take one Texas Part 3, please, and I have it. It doesn't work that way. It's usually multiple people have to say yes. Multiple people have their hand out, meaning you have to pay licensing fees for all those things. And at the end of the day, you have to always figure out when you wrap all that cost in to just acquiring it, and then you have to build it. It's like, can you make enough money to offset what it costs to do it? Sometimes the answer is no, but do we want to do it? Absolutely. Are there conversations happening right now? Absolutely.
Wes talks about a TCM metaverse here. And I was thinking about making this into its own video, but please, please, please make it a TCM metaverse. Encapsulate the entire franchise. Listen, lore to a video game is absolutely amazing and important. I'm super happy that Gunn takes it super serious. But as a player, I am able to have that suspension of disbelief to pull myself out of it and realize that it's a game and that there's certain things that I'm just gonna have to be okay with. And that is seeing remake Leatherface kill Sally and things like that. Because a game at the end of the day is supposed to be fun. I personally believe you can have both worlds. You can have a very consistent and deep lore that follows a story while having this Elseworld kind of video gamey stuff with characters from different time zones and franchises and all that stuff. But I'd love to hear what you think down below. Personally, I'm team Metaverse TCM. Actually, I kind of lied on the last one. This might be the most community requested thing.
Can you confirm Shirtless Johnny is in the works?
Oh, here we go.
Let's go.
Here we go. Back to my original statement, right?
Yeah.
That these folks are
Horny.
horny.
It's all right. We can say it. Yeah, I don't think.
I'll say this.
they're shy
I'll say
either.
this about this is people have actually came to us a lot with this comment, with this request, but they've all came to us pretty cool about it. Granted, horny, yes. Weird, kinda, but no one's been a jerk about it. So for that, yeah, confirmed. There's a Shirtless Johnny coming. When? You have to stay tuned.
But next up, we have a conversation about a fellow character that I've seen be talked about since the beginning when we were talking about trailers back in the day. This character's name was constantly there, and I'm happy to see him get some attention.
If Chop Top were to be added into the game, would it be a cameo, a skin with a new weapon, or a new family member altogether?
Good question. If I'm putting Chop Top in the game, he's a full-on family member with full abilities, just like any other family member. It would not be a skin or a cameo appearance. It would be a full fleshed out character.
Got to give Chop Top everything that Chop Top deserves.
100% agree.
Absolutely, Chop Top deserves to be his own skin. Absolutely, we need him and all of the other characters from the movie franchises. I think that's one of the biggest way to build hype with this game is getting characters, these big name characters like Sally, Chop Top, from the other films in the franchise. And then that's one of something that was actually kind of shocking, and that is future escapes in the Texas Chain Saw Massacre.
So, will future maps have different escape methods, like something different than lock, gates, fuse, and valve?
Short answer, yes.
Boom.
Moving on.
This is amazing. Figuring out new maps when something drops is one thing. It's going to be a ton of fun. But figuring out how to escape those maps is going to be on a whole nother level. And I think it's going to add to a ton of replayability. So yeah, there it is. A ton of big things coming for TCM. The future is looking bright. And there's honestly so much more in this stream that we could talk about. Maybe we make future videos. If there's anything you want me to see out, let me know. And yeah, let's talk about this down below in the comments. What do you want to see? What do you don't want to see? How do you feel about everything? If you haven't already, slash the like button, subscribe and notifications set to all so you don't miss out on future TCM content. If you like what I do here and you want to support, become a member of Slasher Gang for as low as $1 a month. Until then, remember to follow the rules to survive. Don't do drugs. Don't have sex. Oh yeah, don't die.
Got darker days in this grind, yeah. Never pay no mind to what I hate to say. Criticize myself more than anybody anyway. Living dreams, but these nightmares keeping me awake. Demons whisper in the dark, telling me it's a mistake to have faith in my own grind. But I got power over my own mind. I feel like Dr. Strange, yeah.